stress. About 4 years ago, my husband was injured on a job, and all the financial responsibility became mine. Not knowing what would happen with him, it created a lot of tension at home and in my job. I became a person I didn't like anymore. I shut off all feelings from the pressures of the job, keeping up the home, trying to make sure he was taken care of physically. My health began to fail. Within a year's time, on July 4th, I sat in my bathroom wanting to kill myself. It was the worst time of my life because I had nowhere to turn. Or I thought I didn't. I came through that, but then sickness came upon my body. For about 2.5 years, it was just one thing after another because the stress was leaving my body. And it comes in so many different ways, so many different forms, from sinus infections that turn into internal infections in my body, antibiotics on top of antibiotics. It kept making me sicker. And then I ended up in the hospital for 7 days, not knowing that I had had a mini stroke about a month before. Unable to walk, using a cane or a wheelchair or assistance from whoever was around for almost 2 years. The pressures and stresses from the devil telling me that you can't do this anymore. You're not fit for this earth. You're not fit for anybody. Once again, suicide had come into my mind again. I just kept thinking, this isn't how I'm supposed to be. But I didn't know how to dig it out. The stress of being the only person. I did leave that job unannounced, no income for anyone. We had no health insurance. So there was more stresses because I always worried about the bills. I always worried about I can't afford to be at the doctor's. I can't afford the medicine. I could not share anything with my husband because he was already dealing with the health issue that he had. I couldn't share with my mom back home. I didn't want to burden her. I didn't know who I could talk to. And I just kept internalizing everything. I became that person that said, no one wants to hear your sob story. No one wants to know. Everybody deals with this and everybody deals with that. Why can't you get over it? I used to deal with stress very well, I thought. But when your world comes stopping, I claimed up, and I'm not a claimed up person. Most people know that. We've lost homes, cars, with the stress because I didn't know how to deal with it. We may have had the money, but I didn't even know how to write a check at that point. The devil just had me convinced this is it. This is where you're going to be. Moved into a real small 2-bedroom apartment, which I had never lived in that small of an apartment before, and didn't know how to cope with that. I didn't know how to be a mom and a wife anymore. I felt like there was no space for me to be a mom or a wife. This is me today, going from just overwhelmment and not knowing what to do or where to go. I needed the Lord back in my life because for years I had just figured I was okay being raised as a Christian. I was a Christian. I am a Christian. But I just kind of kept going along. I was playing church there for a few years. And God had to bring me to that stopping point. Just when I was about ready to let go of myself, my life, He grasped me with His arms and held me. That's when the healing began. I walked into church with a cane, or with the assistance of my husband, or both. Could barely stand. Sat most of the time. But God took that cane away from me less than 6 months later. I still need assistance every now and then, but it's not near what it was before. My sugar is doing better. I'm being slowly taken off of some medications. My heart's doing better, and I'm believing complete healing and recovery. But it's God. My focus is on God. It's not on the situations and the circumstances that I was dealing with. It's on Him. Every morning I wake and I thank Him just for keeping me alive another day. Another day to hear the birds sing. Another day to look up at the gorgeous sky. I may not have anything materially here on earth, but I believe I will have a mansion there in heaven. I've learned that if I focus on Him, focus on His mercies, His grace, everything else falls into place. I don't worry or stress over jobs, food, income, any of that. I may cry and have my pity party, but then I pray, and He hears me. And I praise Him, no matter what His answer is, no matter what comes the next day. It's praising Him, worshiping Him, because it is all about Him. It's not about me. And I can't explain that for somebody that knew God, but I really know God. He is my Abba Father. He is my daddy, my heavenly daddy. And I can't thank Him enough every day. I just want to be led by Him, guided by Him, and directed by Him.